Okay, this is a recipe for honeycomb. It's a really simple recipe. A couple of techniques that you need to remember. So this isn't a huge serve, but I thought I'd really simplify it because there are a lot of different versions of how to make honeycomb, but this is my version. So I do 1/2 of a cup of raw sugar. You could use white sugar, that's absolutely fine. I just find that the raw sugar tends to harden up a little bit, and that can go straight into a saucepan. I'm going to turn my heat on, and that's going to go straight on. So there's 1/4 cup of golden syrup and the other 1/4 cup, which makes a full 1/2 cup of syrup, is just honey. So I'm basically going to make a toffee which is a little bit sticky, and that's going to go straight into the saucepan as well. I'm just going to stir that so it's all combined. And the next stage I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, I'm going to reduce the heat and let it simmer until all of that sugar is completely dissolved. Okay, so that's boiling quite nicely. I'm going to reduce the temperature now and bring it down to a simmer, but it should continue to bubble. And that's what we want. We want to actually reduce it just a little bit so it becomes a little bit darker, because the minute we add the bicarb soda, it will lighten up the mixture. So the more you cook it now, the more intense and the tougher the golden syrup will turn out. So I'll just let that go for another minute, maybe 2 minutes, and then it'll be ready to turn into honeycomb. What you want is those bubbles to actually fill up and then hold their form a little bit. So, as you can see here, the toffee is holding its form, so it's actually will become a hard toffee. And it's also starting to smell a little bit on the bitter side, which is absolutely fine. I like my golden syrup to be that little bit bitter, but just be mindful you don't want to overdo it and burn it. So that looks pretty good. At this point in time, I am going to add just a pinch of salt. Let those crystals dissolve as well. Stir it through. The salt is a nice contrast to the sugar. It actually enhances the flavour of that honey. I reckon that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm now going to turn that off. At this stage, you want to turn it off. It smells beautiful. I'm going to turn that off so I don't have any more heat. Okay, so that's the container that I'm going to put it in. I've got some wax paper here. I'm just going to scrunch that up. And I find that when you scrunch up your wax paper, it actually holds its form when you put it into your container. So now I've got this that's cooling down just slightly. I don't want to cool it down too much. So this is where the magic happens. I've got a little sieve. Going to sift that through. I'm going to stir it together and it starts to froth up, and that's how you make your honeycomb. See how the colours changed slightly? Just be careful, because this is really very hot mixture. It's piping hot, it will burn. So there you have it. That is some honeycomb. That's completely cooled down. And you can just use a knife to crumble it, and that goes beautifully on top of ice cream or drizzled with a little bit of dark chocolate. There you have it. That is your homemade honeycomb. Lovely golden colour, a little bit bitter, but sweet as well. Yum, it's really good.